Hello, it's so wonderful to be here with you as we are wrapping up 2020. So, we're in the final days of December 2020. My name is Alana Heim of Prosperity Alignment, and it's been a big year. So, take some time to really reflect on the blessings that you received as well as the change that came forth, because through the change is where we grow, is where we evolve into truly becoming more of the person that we're each here to be. This is a year of massive evolution. And so, what has come here within your life, within your sphere, within the collective? What has come up for you? And that might even be some different emotions, right? That when you think back or really see what challenges you've overcome, I want you to also be able to just look at how much it helped you, that you were supported, even when it felt like you weren't. The big piece that I want to talk about today is the power of and. We tend to want to think in buts. Well, I can do this, but. And the and is really where we can just keep going. And it's funny because it makes me just think about how my husband talks about when I speak, the and is huge for me. It's my run-on sentence. So when I, having the undefined throat, have this moment of wanting to express, I'll just keep adding the and so that the sentence never ends and there's no pause for anyone to come in and interrupt or stop my flow. So there is a power with using and in that form. But I also want you to see and in the way of polarity, where it's so easy, especially I know in the past I've done a video that talked about the polarity and me recognizing what I was here to learn in the way of freedom and security. My mom really was all about the freedom piece, and my dad was more the security piece. And when I work with people in the financial world, most of the time they want both. In the past, we were more, you had to choose one, right? In the law of polarity, you can't have both. You can only have one. This is the power of and. Because if you want freedom, and you want the security piece, we're now in a space where we can have it. And we are starting to collapse, let's just say that polarity. Even if you wanted to say A to B is kind of the polarity, but we're starting to collapse that potential into you can have both. So I want you to see the power of and as in you can have both. So here is an example of something that I've recently realized, where I love the 5D world. I love the spiritual aspects. I love to play out in the universe and literally project myself out into the stars and have fun out there. And what I was realizing was I was choosing the 5D over the 3D world, being in the physical body, and choosing that I could have fun out there, but there was no and I could have fun here. It was more one or the other. And really, to change the belief, to change the energy, to really see that I can have fun and play in both, in the spiritual realm and in the physical. If you've had big dreams, big goals, where it felt like you had to pick your family or your work, we're creating the world that we want to live in, where we get to have both, where we get to say, I want to have my family. Especially as women, this is something I've seen and when I was in the accounting world, where sometimes women were almost told to choose, that you couldn't have both. And what I am saying is we get to totally deconstruct that story, remove that belief, transform it into something more empowering that says, yes, you can be a woman raising a family and doing the work and finding the balance. So when you're setting your intentions for 2021, as we're moving forward out of this year, be very crystal clear in what it is that you are here to create. And the power of and is, in the past, if you thought you couldn't have something and you had a fork in the road and you had to choose only one, I want you to now see that you can, let's say, have a new path go through and have both points converge where you get to have it all. You can have it all, but we're told we can't, right? So for all of those can'ts, no's, don'ts, shouldn't, any of those kinds of energies that are just really of the vibration of fear and of lack, what if we could release that right here, right now? And therefore, as you move forward into 2021, you're having more of what it is that you really want. And if there's more than one thing that you want, you can have it. You can have this and that. There's so much that's changing in the world. So let's just take a look at where we've been just in this month alone, in December. So we're in our final year, this final month of the year. And ultimately, we had the solar eclipse. We had the winter solstice in the northern hemisphere and the summer solstice in the southern hemisphere. And paired with that was this amazing conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn at 0 degrees Aquarius, moving into a space to really open us to explore more of the air element that Aquarius brings, pulling us out of the earthly realm. And this is the fun part, right? For me, going, oh, we've been so heavy in the earth and in the physical plane and all of the changes. And now we're moving to more of this etheric quality of air where we can just move quickly. And money is like air, right? It can come to you as easily as you breathing in. And the power of money being almost in this velocity of air is in the cryptocurrency space, where we're starting to recognize that there is some flow and there's some different ways of being able to access money and play with money. And that is something that I've played with this year in 2020. That has been a great blessing that kind of came, and I'm playing in that space and I'm finding myself having fun in the physical and kind of in this etheric quality of the 5D. With all of this great kind of point that came to be on the solstice is what I've heard some people refer to as this point of no return. Meaning, where we've been, it's up to you to choose how you view where we've been in the past, in 2020, and from birth through to this point, or even beyond. Even if you want to go further into, let's say, your past lives and anything of reincarnation prior to this lifetime, sometimes we've held on to. Now you get to ultimately let it go, release it, change it, transmute it, whatever it may be, allowing yourself to receive more light, because you are the light. And the light is so intertwined beautifully with love that you are the love and the light. And having more compassion for yourself, forgiveness for yourself, love for yourself, nurturing and care for yourself, because that allows your cup to overflow. And that allows you to support more people, your tribe, the collective. And to really amplify the light allows for us to amplify the change in consciousness. So this point of no return, whatever you were not okay with in the past, now is the time to change it. And you just can't stand for it anymore. You're going to take a stand for something that is more empowering, more positive, more in flow with where you want yourself to be and the world to be. What you used to allow, you get to choose to move in a different direction. If you thought you had choices in the past where you had that either or, this is where the power of and comes in. Now you can proclaim that you want this and this. You want to be sustained and you want to sustain others. You want to care for yourself and care for others. You want to support and be supported. There are so many things that we really were taught you could only have one or the other. Let it go. Choose more. Choose the and. Choose to be and do, right? Before it was always the doing, or then we would get caught in this vicious loop of the 3D, 5D of, well, I have to either be doing or be. And being the projector, I get that. Where, again, now I have this understanding of me being a projector and the energy of being. But what I'm realizing, there's so many other aspects to who I am, the planets that activate me, the numbers in my chart, just all of these aspects to who I am. I am very driven and I have a lot of need for doing. I'm here to be and do, not one or the other. And it's not a projector versus generator aspect. It is the blending of both. And in that respect, you are not here to choose masculine or feminine. And me being female means that I must be feminine. It is I am feminine and masculine. You have both qualities. And the more we blend the and, where we truly collapse the polarity into the blending, we are allowing the source point to come together, rejuvenate us, bring us to the light, to be able to connect to that infinite light source, to be the infinite light source, and to share it. In the past, humans used power over others, power to manipulate and take from children, in the sense that if mom and dad said so, they would have that power over the child to say, you will do what I say because I am your mother or your father. That doesn't work anymore. I have 6-year-old twins. That shit doesn't work for them. And more, you're going to see it's not working for you either. And when you can have the compassion to realize where we've been, how the power was used over you in your lifetime, that prior to solstice 2020, all of that, this is the moment where you choose to receive power from source and use that to activate everything within you. That you don't have to see the human design chart as energy of where you receive energy from others and you take from others and they take from you, and all of that energy flow that helped us with our 3D perspective and the polarity aspects. Now is where you get to see that you are infinitely sourced, resourced, resourceful, and you can pull from that. And that is your power source. That is where all of you comes through, and you can freely express that out to allow for others to receive, not to take, to receive that which they're ready to receive. There are things that we each have to share, brilliance, gifts, insight, whatever it may be. And there's a sense of knowing that you have. I want you to trust that. Trust when it is your right time and place to this right person to share. And you're going to also know through your intuition and trusting yourself whether or not you're here to actually support them, or if you're not necessarily here to provide the medicine because they're not ready. Also knowing that when we overstep and give it anyway, that sometimes that actually can be harmful rather than the medicine, right? It could be almost more toxic or poisonous, giving something to somebody who's not ready to receive it. Poisonous in both directions. For them, maybe it hurts them in some way, or it sets them back, or it hurts you and it actually depletes you energetically because you're trying to overgive and trying to, again, be that old power source rather than allowing for it to come through you. So there's a lot here I'm sharing, but this is where we are. We're on this precipice of great things to come through you like never before. We are manifesting so much faster than ever before. So if you, in the PHS aspect, have the third quadrant, which is all about perspective and it's more left brain, you really want to be crystal clear on what you want to manifest. So write it down, make the vision board, really allow for yourself to connect to what it is that you want, because that's how it operates for you. It's very specific, it's very focused. Now, if your energy is more of the right brain quality in that perspective quadrant, it's going to be more in that feminine flow. It is going to be more allowing. It doesn't have to be so specific and detailed, but you're going to want to connect with the vision in a way that maybe it allows for you to really feel it and be in the flow. And you don't need the vision board. You don't need to necessarily write it down so specifically over and over and over, because that's more focused. You want to allow for the flow, for that perspective to come through for you when the timing is right. So if you don't know if you're left or right, you can always request your human design chart, and the chart that I provide has those details and has a little bit of that information, because I'm really seeing how important it is to know, are you more left brain or right brain in these certain aspects. So that was specifically just about the third quadrant, which is actually on the mind side, so kind of your conscious side, your soul side, making sure that personality, it's the bottom layer. There's two codes on that side. So seeing if it's L or R for left or right. Very helpful for you moving forward, recognizing that as we manifest faster and faster, you just have to be in your flow, right? Allowing, following the frequency of what works for you, and trusting in all of it. Knowing that there is the power of and. You don't have to set one intention, and you don't have to pick one thing to manifest. There can be more of that interconnection, because really everything's interconnected anyway. We are one. All parts of you are one and connected. And the more that you can really bring in that level of the spiritual and the physical through your heart space and that interconnection, so huge. So there was so much change this year in 2020 because you are changing. What we are seeing in the world has to change because it isn't sustainable in the way that we know it can be. And we needed the polarity aspect to see what was, to know what can be, to form what is, and allowing ourselves to be in that space. So I just want to send massive love and light and support and grace and flow and trust, intuition, all of these aspects of higher vibration, of compassion and joy, gratitude, forgiveness, all of these pieces that I know that is in you and you are working on, and it is coming to life within you. That's what I want to amplify and have manifest even more powerfully for you. That's the gift that I bring and share right now. So with love, bye for now. Have a blessed ending to 2020 and a beautiful welcoming to 2021. Mwah, much love. And I will see you on the other side. Bye for now.